Welcome back, Source Nation. Now here's your host, Kathy B.
Welcome back, Source Nation. Welcome back. You're listening live right here on the Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Kathy B. Well, I tell you, I am so excited because I have this next young lady in the studio with me, and I'm excited to be speaking with her because some things have definitely transpired since our last conversation. And as I stated, we're now into our second hour of the show, and I'm going to be speaking with Miss Samone Yancy. Now, Samone was here about 2 years ago, and definitely some things have changed since her last visit. She's been able to complete her book, and we're going to talk about that as well as her business and her mentorship program. So just a little bit about Samone, and I'll bring her in. Samone Yancy is a woman on a mission, yes she is, to empower, equip, and inspire women to live for God, be authentic, and walk in victory and purpose. In 2011, she founded a Christian Women Walking in Victory Women's Ministry, whose mission is to help women to reach full spiritual maturity through mentorship, discipleship, prayer, biblical principles, and outreach, and empowerment conferences and workshops. Samone is the author of the book From Defeat to Victory, ordained minister, mentor, and a conference host. So I am excited to be speaking with this young lady. She's going to give us some great information on tonight. Samone, I believe she's here in the studio with us. Samone, how are you this evening? And welcome to the Ladies Lounge.
I am great, Kathy B. It's great to be back in the Ladies Lounge. I can't believe it's been 2 years. Wow.
I know, and I can't believe that we're coming up on the 4th year that we've been in existence, and to have some amazing people such as yourself grace our studios. I am definitely blessed and glad to have you here. Yes, it has been 2 years, so if you will, Samone, if you could take a moment to just introduce yourself. You know, I didn't give you a bio justice, and I'll tell you why. We've had the opportunity really to begin to share you with the Source Nation audience as well as the Source Nation family and the ladies here in the lounge. So if you take a moment, introduce yourself, and then we'll jump right into the conversation from there.
Okay, well, again, I am Samone Yancy. I am an author. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm an author. I'm ordained minister, mentor, coach. And my mission is just to empower, to equip, to inspire women to live for God, be authentic, and walk in victory and purpose. And I'm just excited. I'm always excited to empower women and to help them to tap into their purpose, help them to walk in victory, to overcome those things that have them defeated. So that's what I'm all about. I'm also known as the victory strategist. So I help women to turn their defeats into victories. So I just thank God for the call, and I thank God for the ministry, and I'm always excited to walk in my purpose.
Awesome. I love that. Well, again, ladies here in the lounge, we're going to be speaking with Samone Yancy. Now, Samone, it's been 2 years. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on. I understand that you're relaunching your book.
Yes. So, yes, my book, Relaunch From Defeat to Victory. And the relaunch, I'm living in a whole new city and state. So my husband and I, our children, we just relocated to Austin, Texas from St. Louis, Missouri. So if any of you have ever transitioned or relocated, you know that can be very exciting, but also it can take a lot out of you. So I pretty much took a year out of really just doing anything besides being connected to the ladies in my ministry. But as I got close to my year mark of the relocation, the Lord just told me to relaunch my book. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, that makes sense. And it really did. And then he began to show me how my book is more than a book. It's really a lifestyle, from defeat to victory. It's a lifestyle. And so what he was really doing was helping me to relaunch myself. And as I relaunched the book, I didn't change any of the content. It's the same content, but I did change the book cover. I loved my first cover, but the second cover is even more beautiful. And I believe it's, I believe it's just a reflection of who I am and where I am now. even more. I've blossomed, I've grown. And so it was a relaunch of myself. So I was excited about that. And once I relaunched, it was just everything became much clearer to me, the direction, what he wanted to do with me in this new city. So everything became much clearer. So I'm excited about the relaunch.
I love that. And, and I want to stay right there, if I may, because I think when we begin to reinvent ourselves and relaunch some things that we may have put aside, sometimes we enter into an area of fear and uncertainty because we know we want to make this change. We know that we need to make this change, but yet it's very fearful. Talk to us a little bit, Samone, if you will, about that. Just as you stated, I was listening and trying to put myself in your shoes. You were living in Missouri, and I'm sure you've been there quite some time, and now your husband says it's time for us to go. You moved clear across the country. So talk to us about that, because I know that there was probably some type of fear and some type of uncertainty. And again, going back to when we're wanting to relaunch ourselves, that could be present as well. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I would love to share that. And again, from the Feet to Victory is a lifestyle. It's my brand. We talk a lot about branding, but God really did brand me from the Feet to Victory. So even the transition is a part of my story. It's a part of how real God is. It's a part of how obedience really does matter. And I share a little bit of the testimony. I believe that it will bless the people. So remember, my husband and I, we've been married for 9 years this year. I'll share really quick. In the first year of our marriage, the Lord told me that we would live in Texas. And I brought it to my husband. He wasn't in agreement with it. And so I just kind of left it alone. It wasn't a really big deal. So here we go, years later, 2015, and it's brought to me again. And the Lord said, the next part of your life is in Texas. And I said, okay, God, but you remember what happened last time. I told my husband, so if that's you will have to touch his heart. And I left it alone. I didn't mention it to him again until I felt the Lord led me to. And when I did hear the Lord tell me to tell my husband, he was ready. Just so happened he was ready. Just so happened he had lost his job. Someone was telling him about jobs in Texas. So when I came to him, his response was, oh, babe, someone was just telling me about these jobs. And I was thinking, God, thank you. So we actually, 3 months later, this was in September, November, I put his resume online on Indeed. Jobs were emailing. I'm like, babe, you're going to have to go first. These jobs are calling. So my husband left first, November 2015. 2 months after, the Lord said that we would be leaving. And he left. He got the first interview he went to. He got the job. Me and the boys came 2 months later, the 1st of January, and here we are in Austin, Texas in 2016. So even when the Lord tells you to do something, it doesn't take away the anxieties. It doesn't take away the fears. It doesn't take away the uncertainties. But what I have been able to stand on and where all of my confidence my confidence came from knowing that God sent us, that God told us to go. So with that, I've been totally confident, and I'm just seeing really, literally everything coming to pass that the Lord showed me. So I'm excited, and to even be on this call again 2 years later about my book, the relaunching of my book is really just a manifestation of God steady showing me, just continue to follow me, even when you're fearful, even when you have the anxiety, even, just stand on my word. And so our move is just a standing on God's word, literally, literally.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I love that. And, in the fact that you've transitioned, you've gotten to your location, let's talk about being able to regroup. Because just as you said, when you relaunch, you have to regroup and begin to put a certain strategy and plan together. Because in a relaunching, things aren't the same. There are new things. You may be placing new things in that relaunch. So talk to us about that. What are your thoughts?
Yes, definitely. It takes new strategies, and I'm going to be totally honest and transparent because I don't know any other way, and I believe that transparency really helps and helps others. So just recently, I would say maybe about a month, maybe 2 months ago. So I get here, I relaunched my book, I relaunched my women's ministry here. We had an actual relaunch here in Texas of Christian Women Walking in Victory. That was a success. So I'm going on, I'm continuing to do everything that the Lord has called me to do. And about 2 months ago, as I was in prayer, because some things wasn't really working out the way I thought it should really work out. And I just asked God, okay, God, what is it? You know, what's going on? Am I doing everything right? And he clearly said to me in a loving way, because he knows that my heart is right. And he said to me, you're walking in an old assignment. And I'm thinking, walking in an old assignment, and I immediately knew what he was talking about, because sometimes during the transition, during the move, you try to do the same thing that you were doing before. You don't really see yourself you don't see your own self really as upgraded or growing or, you know, whatever the case. So you're trying to do the same old things. And so the Lord revealed that to me, and I quickly was like, okay, God, you know, and what I had to do was upgrade myself. I had to upgrade my thinking. I had to upgrade my strategies. I had to upgrade everything and stop doing those things that I once did that got me to this place. And it really was a mind shift. It really was a mind shift to me. So once I shifted my mind, and the Lord began to show me how I was really just playing myself down. You know, I had to upgrade my confidence. Just everything had to be an upgrade. Just like the book, it had to be an upgrade. And so I just went back into prayer. I went back to God, and I began to ask him, you know, to show me what it is he wanted me to do. And he began to do just that. I had already gotten the name for my business from Defeat to Victory. I had already purchased the name and filed and did all of those things, but I wasn't even doing anything with my business name. I already have my business account in here. I'm not doing anything with the business, period. And the Lord is saying, this is what I want your focus to be. Now it's time for you to coach women. Now it's time for you to counsel. Now it's time. So all of these things that I had a desire to do, but I just really wasn't taking it that serious because I was kind of still dumbing myself down. And the Lord was saying, this is what I need you to do. I need you to come up. If that makes sense to you, I need you to come up. And so that's what I did. That's what I'm doing. So now I'm more focused on my business, from Defeat to Victory LLC. And from Defeat to Victory LLC offers empowerment, tools to help women experience victorious breakthroughs. And we do this through life coaching, counseling, classes, workshops, and mentoring. And I'm so excited about it. It's been in me, but I didn't see myself at that place. So I had to make myself walk into my new place. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I love that. So now that we spoke about the relaunching, we spoke about regrouping, what more could you share with the ladies in reference to what you've gone through? And then I want to talk to them a little bit about the book, because I find that the book is so inspiring. From our conversation 2 years ago, our audience has grown, and we have new women that have become a part of the Ladies Lounge and definitely the family. So let's talk about that. What are your thoughts?
Okay, can you repeat that one more time?
Yes,
we've talked
about regrouping, and we've talked about your relaunching. So now that you've been able to put yourself in a place where you can now begin to discuss your book and what has transpired, let's talk about that. So, if you will, share with the ladies about the book.
Okay. So it's just like God, where everything just kind of fits in. And with my book, even though even though my book wasn't out on the scenes and I wasn't too much focused on being a bestseller or anything like that, that's not the direction the Lord took me in, because it was a lifestyle. And I gave birth to my book because really, I gave birth to Christian Women Walking in Victory because I wanted, the Lord had me to become what I needed and what I wanted when I first gave my life over to Christ. So that's how the women's ministry came about. And once I went through my own process, then he gave birth to my book. So the book is really just kind of a blueprint for women, to help women, especially those that are newly saved, that are trying to walk your Christian walk, your journey. Is really a blueprint. It's some things that I had to go through, some things that I had to be purged and purified from. So, and one of my readers, she said the word blueprint, and that just did something to me. So I've been saying the word. She said it was a blueprint for her. So through my mentorship, if I can kind of answer your question, through my mentorship is where I'm able to actually use my book. It's part of, I have a workbook that was created that's compatible to my book, and I use it for my mentorship. So we actually go through, that's part of the process that we go through in the mentorship. We go through the book, we go through each chapter, and it helps women to be purged, to be purified, and I help them to get prepared to be used by God. And in doing that, and why it's so important, because once you get to that place of purging and being purified, and now you can hear God, now you're not carrying so much weight, now you're not walking in fear and walking in these so many other things that hold us down. Now you can hear God, to where when God tells you to move, to go to another state, you're ready, and you're not allowing fear to stop you. You're not allowing these things to hold you back, because, sometimes all you have is the word of God to stand on. There's going to always be a reason why you can't do something, or why you don't want to do something. Financial reasons, there's all type of reasons. But as you really connect with God, and as you really get serious about your journey, your Christian walk, and being obedient to God, he's going to begin to speak to you. And we have to be in a position where we can hear, and not only hear, but act on what he's telling us to do. If that helped answer your question. So the mentorship and the book is so important, because it purges you, it purifies you. We all deal with so many issues in life, especially as a new believer. When we come to God, when we come into the body of Christ and we're first saved, we come with baggage. We come with so much mess. And it's important, it's my heart's desire is to help as many women as I can to be purged and to be purified, and to help them to become fit for the master's use. That's my heart's desire. And that's when I first gave my life over to Christ, it was what I needed. I saw that it was the missing thing in the church. That was what it was missing. When you first come in, you're kind of intimidated, and everyone looks more spiritually mature than you are. And then once you get to the other side, we know how that can be sometimes. Then it's kind of disappointing, because it's like, it's not what I thought it would be. You can't even help me. And instead of allowing that to push me away from the church and all these other things that could have happened, I used it. To help myself, and I told myself I didn't want to be that. So I let that become my push, and it pushed me to grow up. It pushed me to mature in Christ. And then I turned around and I wanted to give that same thing back to other women. So that's really my story. That's the story of my book. That's the story of my women's ministry, and the story of From Defeat to Victory LLC, my new business that I'm so excited about.
Awesome. Well, let's transition over to your brand new business. Like I said, ladies here in the lounge, Samone actually was here 2 years ago and gave us some great information then, and definitely tonight giving us information in reference to what she has been doing in her life and how she's transitioned stronger in her ministry and the book, relaunching her brand new book. So let's talk about it. Tell us a little bit about your business, Samone, and some of the changes that have been made and some of the things that you're implementing now to make the business that much more successful.
Yes, well, the biggest thing I would say is my coaching services, and And I offer different coaching packages. I have vision clarity. So many women are not clear on their vision. You know, you get a vision and you're not really clear about it. And when you're not clear about it, it's easy to put it down. You know, so I offer coaching to give women vision clarity, confidence coaching. So many of us are not confident. You know, we're not confident in who God is calling us to be. So sometimes we need someone to just help us to be confident in who we are and confident in whatever it is that the Lord is calling us to do. I also offer counseling services. I've counseled in the church for years as an ordained minister, and when I was first called into that, I was new in Christ. Clearly the Lord told me to join this ministry, and I'm thinking counseling. But I found out that I love to counsel women. I love to help people. I believe that anger, fear, rejection, I believe that all of those things are only a manifestation of something bigger. So it's what God does is he gets to the root of things. And I believe in getting to the root. That's how I'm made up. That's how God created me. So I'm never that person that schemes across the surface. I have to get to the bottom, and I have to help people get to the bottom of, you know, what it really is that you're going through. This is the manifestation. So let's find out what the problem really is. So I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate. I believe because it's helped me in a tremendous way, getting to the root, allowing God to help me to get to the root of my issues, the root of my rejection, the root of my anger. It's so freeing. It's freeing. And from defeat to victory, it's really a lifestyle because we all start off defeated, all of us, for some reason or another. But it's a great place to be when you get to that place of victory. So many great things have happened to me as a result of allowing God to purge me and to process me and to just trust him. So many things. Even during this process, I grew up with my stepfather, had a great stepfather from the age of 2. I'm so thankful to God for him. He was such a great father that I didn't think that I needed my biological father, who I didn't know. Well, as I got older, maybe almost in my 30s, maybe late 20s, 30s, I began to have a desire to want to connect with my biological father. And so I gave that to the Lord, and I let him know how I felt. Well, maybe 2 years after that, I can't remember the time frame, but in 2012 or 13, my husband and I, we moved to a new house, and I moved right next door to my biological father. I moved right next door to my biological father, whom I have a great relationship with now, who's like my best friend. And it's amazing. So those type of things happen when you trust God. Those things that once had you defeated, you know, not knowing my father, feeling rejected because feeling that he didn't want me, to turning everything over to God and allowing God to come and just restore. That's the type of God that we serve. That's the type of God that we serve. And if he do it for me, I know he would do it for somebody else. So, and through my coaching, through my counseling, through my services, at the end of the day, I like to help people to get to the root. Before you start that business, before you go back to school, let's deal with those real inner self issues. And I believe that that's what's needed in the world.
Great information. Great information. So let's talk about what you're doing next. What are your thoughts, and what are you putting together next?
What am I putting together next? Well, right now, I know that God has great things in store for my husband and I being in this new city and state. Right now, I'm just focusing on getting my business off the ground, growing that, because I know once that grows, then more people are growing, and it helps the community, it helps the household, it helps the church, it helps the kingdom. So that's what my focus is. Where God is taking me beyond that, I really don't know. I really don't know, but I'm open. I think sometimes he gives me what he know I can handle, and I focus on that. So I really don't know, but I'm excited about it. I've been here in Texas for a year, and right now I'm just being obedient to the assignments I have before me now, and I'm excited. When that next big thing come, I'm definitely going to reach out to you and have you bring me back.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, Samone, I tell you, I am excited for you. I'm glad that you all have made it to Texas and you're doing some wonderful and amazing things with your ministry, and definitely continuing to connect with the women that you come encounter with. I truly believe that, when God places us in position to truly speak on what he has blessed us with, and then in turn we bless others with it, it's a wonderful thing. It really is. And to know that you have understood your calling and you're using it as God has asked you to is a wonderful thing as well. And I truly love that. So yes, whatever you have going on, definitely if you wish to come back and share it with the ladies here in the lounge, you're more than welcome. And I thank you so much for being here. As we're wrapping up this evening's show, Samone, if you will, if you like to leave a word of advice or maybe some encouraging word to the ladies, you're more than welcome to do so at this time.
Yes, thank you. I would love to. I would like to just encourage the women, encourage whoever is listening, just to put down fear. Fear is such a crippling thing. Don't be fearful. The word tells us that perfect love casts out fear. So as we seek God and as we go deeper in God, it helps us to not be so fearful of those things that he's calling us to do. So whatever it is that you feel a strong desire to do, maybe someone out there, maybe you feel like the Lord is telling you to relocate to another city and state, and just go on that word. My story is not one where we saved this much money and we did this. That's not our story. But I can say that we came on this word and we have been sustained and we have been blessed. Our children have been blessed. The transition has been so much easier. And I would say just trust God. Follow the God that's in you. Follow that voice. Don't allow fear to stop you. So many people are being crippled by fear, and don't let it stop you. Seek God, seek his direction, and trust him. Trust him, have faith that he will take care of you. And I believe that someone received this word today, and I'm excited. I'm excited for you because you're trusting God. You're laying aside that fear is going to open up major doors for you. And that's my encouragement for everyone on today. And if you would like to know more about me or to reach out, I'm on Facebook, Samone Yancy, SamoneYancy, and my business page is From Defeat to Victory. You can also visit my website, SamoneYancyMinistries.org, and that will take you to all of my other websites, Christian Women Walking in Victory, as well as From Defeat to Victory, LLC.
Awesome. Well, Samone, again, thank you so much for being here in the lounge, and we thoroughly enjoyed your visit and look forward to having you back again real soon.
Thank you so much, Kathy B. I enjoyed being here.
Thank you. Well, Source Station, you heard it right there from Miss Samone Yancy. Love that young lady. She is giving some great information on tonight, definitely, with transitioning and being able to relaunch your life. One of the things that I love what Samone said is not to be fearful. Don't be fearful in what God has called you to do. And so many of us have heard or thought we heard God say to do something and we didn't do it. I tell you, one of the things that I find so encouraging is to know when I can sit still and I can hear God say various things. There's not one time where I have made a decision in my life that I did not consult with God. And if I didn't hear his word, or if I didn't feel that it was coming directly from him, I wouldn't. But again, as I tell women, and I have stated this, on the platform so many times, is that we are given two things in life, which is passion and purpose. And when those two things meet, how beautiful, exciting, and wonderful it is. And know that those two things are gifts from God. So when He is speaking to you, stop and listen and move forward from there. Great information Samone has given us. Again, you can find all of her information and more on Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network. Ladies, thank you so much for being here in the studio with me again. Thank you to Vanessa Bowling-Lane as well as Samone Yancy. All of their information and more, again, can be found on Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network. We'll see you again next week. Be blessed. All right, Samone, this particular show will air on this coming Friday. So Tracy will send you out the link probably no later than Wednesday. So therefore you can begin to promote it on your various social media sites and get the word out that you're going to be on. But again, I thank you, lady, for coming in. It's good to hear that you're doing so well. And yes, definitely, once you have something else in place and you'd like to share it with us, please know that you always have a home right here at Source Radio Network.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope I answered all of your questions.
You did. You did. Okay, darling.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Yes, you too. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Source Nation, you heard it right there from Miss Samone Yancy. Gave us some great information tonight. I love speaking with her. Of course, you can find all of her information and more on Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network. We'll back at it again next week. Join us for great conversations, amazing guests, back here on Source Radio Network. You've been listening live to the Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Kathy B. I'll see you all again. Be blessed.